I got my seller account approved in less than 48 hours. But hold on, before you click the sign up button on Amazon, listen here. Signing up for a seller account on Amazon isn't the same as the hundreds of other websites you've signed up on. That's because if you choose the wrong options or enter the wrong information, you won't get approved, or worse, you'll get blacklisted and won't be able to sell on Amazon ever. So the first step is to head on over to sell.amazon.com. But before you click the sign up button here, you need to make a very important decision first. There's actually two types of selling plans you can choose from. There's an individual selling plan and a professional selling plan. And there's pros and cons to each one. For example, the individual plan is free. There's no monthly fee. However, you don't get access to a bunch of advanced selling features such as being able to create promotions and coupons, use the pay-per-click advertising system, or even business, sales, and inventory reports. However, although there's no monthly fee with the individual plan, you do have to pay a 99-cent fee each time you make a sale, as you can see here. Now, with the professional plan, there is a monthly fee of $39.99 per month, but there's some caveats here. First, you get access to all of the advanced features. You don't have to pay a fee each time you make a sale, and what most people don't know is that if you're just starting out and you don't actually have anything to sell yet, or you're not ready to sell anything yet, Amazon won't charge you the monthly fee until you actually start selling. What happens is if you sign up with the professional plan, Amazon will charge you $39.99 for the first month as soon as you register, but you won't get charged again until you actually start selling. So that's a huge benefit since you'll be able to get started with access to all of the features and learn the system before you start selling. So unless you're on a really tight budget, I suggest just registering your new seller account with the professional selling plan right away. You can do that by clicking on the sign up button here. You can see that by clicking here, it will charge you $39.99 a month. However, if you do want to start with the individual plan, do not click here. You'll have to scroll all the way down to the bottom of the page and click this link here. Sign up and become an individual seller. But don't worry, regardless of which option you choose when you initially sign up, you can change the selling plan anytime later and as often as you want. And I do want to point out that you don't need to have a registered business to start selling on Amazon. In fact, you can just sign up using your social security number and start selling. And if you decide to register a business in the future, you can always update your account information at that time. And pretty much anyone can sell on Amazon from anywhere in the world. You don't have to live in any specific country or location. However, there are some restrictions, and if you do happen to live in one of the restricted countries, then you'll have to jump through some hoops if you want to sell on Amazon. I'll post a link down in the description below to the approved countries if you want to take a look. All right, so let's click on sign up. Now, before moving forward, there are several steps to the new seller account registration process, and each step has some gotchas. Mistakes that people make that can get your account denied or blacklisted if you don't do it right. So pay close attention. On this first step, you can see there are two options for you to choose from. And here's where people make their first mistake. If you already have an existing Amazon account, such as one that you buy stuff on Amazon with and you want to use that same account for your new seller account, you'll need to log in with that account email and password here. Or if you've already started registering a seller account that you left unfinished or in limbo, you also need to log in with that account here. Do not try to create a new account. You can't have multiple seller accounts, so you'll create a huge problem for yourself trying to sort out the multiple account problem you've created. Now, if you don't want to use the same Amazon account that you buy stuff with, or you've never tried to create a seller account in the past, then go ahead and click on the Create Your New Account button here. I'm pretty sure most of us already have a buyer account, so what I actually suggest is create a new separate seller account. This will keep your personal activity separate from your business and make your bookkeeping a lot easier. Trust me, when I first started selling on Amazon, I originally signed up using my buyer account, and that just made things way more complicated, so I ended up closing that account and creating a separate seller account. You can do that by just using a different email address. But be aware, you can't just create a second account while you have an existing seller account, whether approved or not. According to Amazon's policies, in general, you're only allowed to have one seller account per marketplace, and if you violate this policy, Amazon will close all of the accounts. So in my case, I had to close the first seller account that I had created before I could create the new account using a different email address so that I can keep my personal account information separate from my seller account. All right, so let's create a new account. Now, pro tip to help avoid getting hung up and speed up the whole verification process, if you can, try avoid using a Gmail, Hotmail, Yahoo, or any other free email address. Too many scammers and bad actors try to create seller accounts with those emails. Ideally, you should be using an email address from your own domain. For example, if your business is Cutest Cats and you own the domain cutestcats.com, then you should be using an email address from that domain, like crescent@cutestcats.com. Okay, so enter your name, email, and the password that you want to use. Click Submit. And you'll have to verify your email address, so go ahead and get the one-time password that was emailed to you and enter it here. All right, you can see that you'll have to provide some information and documentation. Amazon will verify your submission, and then once verified, you'll be able to start selling. And you can see here, you'll need all of this information to complete this registration process. You'll need a valid government-issued ID or passport, a recent bank account or credit card statement, a chargeable credit card or debit card, and a mobile phone. And I'll get into the specifics of what you'll need when we get to each one in the next few steps. All right, so let's begin. On this page, you'll have to provide some information about your business. In this field, business location, this is the country where you registered your business. As I said earlier, you can pretty much sell from anywhere around the world, so choose your country from the list. And as you can see here, if you don't have a business, choose the country where you live. Now, since most of you watching this are going to be in the US, let's choose US. Now, business type. There are several options you can choose from here, but the two that most of us are going to choose is going to be either privately owned or none, I'm an individual. If you registered a business, whether a sole proprietorship or an LLC, you'll want to choose privately owned. If you didn't register a business and you're just going to sell using your social security number, then choose none, I'm an individual. And one thing I want to point out here is that choosing individual here has nothing to do with the individual seller plan. They are completely separate options and have nothing to do with each other. One is the Amazon seller plan, whether you're paying a monthly fee or not, and the other is your business type. Choosing one doesn't mean you have to choose the other. I see a lot of people getting confused over this. Now, deciding whether or not to register a business is beyond the scope of this video, but in a nutshell, a registered business such as an LLC will give you tax advantages as well as liability protection, meaning if someone were to sue you for damages due to your service or products, they can't go after your personal assets such as your home or your car. However, if you conduct business as an individual or a sole proprietor, you don't have liability protection. It's also typically much more expensive to register an LLC versus a sole prop. The fees vary by state, so check on your state's government website to find out what those costs are. Or if you need help or want someone to help register the business for you, you can always hire a service like LegalZoom. All right, now since I have a registered business, I'm going to choose privately owned. Then enter your business name here. And make sure you type this in correctly. Then check on, I confirm this information is correct and that this information cannot be changed later. Then click on Agree and Continue. Okay. Now you can see that we're on the first step out of 5. Here you'll need to enter some more information about your business. The first field is your business name. It's already filled in from the previous screen. Again, make sure this matches the business name you actually registered with your state. The next field is the company registration number. You can typically find this number on your business license, but it might not be called the registration number. So find that number and enter it here. If you don't have a registered business, just leave this blank. Now, enter your business's address here. If you registered a business, make sure this matches your actual address that you registered with. This isn't your home address unless you don't have a registered business, then put your home address here. Now, if you haven't verified a phone number yet, you'll have to enter your phone number here and how you want to have it verified. You can use your mobile phone number here, but you don't have to. You can actually use a Google Voice number if you want, but I suggest using your mobile number just to make things easier and more convenient for you moving forward. Okay, so once you've verified your number, click on Next. And now we've completed step 1, so we're on to step 2. Here's where you need to enter your personal information. All of these fields should be pretty self-explanatory, so just fill them in. One thing to note, do not try to use fake information. Your account will get declined and any future accounts that you try to create will most likely get blacklisted. Okay, so once you've filled in your information, you'll need to choose how you want to prove your identity. You can see in the drop-down menu that you can choose from several options. You can choose to use a permanent resident certificate, a driver's license, or a passport. So choose the one that's most convenient for you and enter the details here. And here's the next mistake people make. The ID must have your name exactly as you entered it, and it cannot be expired. You can see here in the guidelines that it must be a valid, active ID. And I'll go over the rest of these requirements in the guideline in the next few steps. Okay, and now you need to check which of these boxes apply to you here. If you're the owner or a part owner of the business, check this box. If you're creating this seller account on behalf of someone else, then check this box. In most cases, you're creating this for yourself, so only check the top one. Now, if you're the sole owner of the business, then choose yes here. If you have partners and you want to enter their details, you'll need to choose no here. Then lastly, check this box to agree to this statement here, then click next. All right, we've now completed step 2. And as you can see here, you need to provide information for your bank and credit card. And here's where people make another common mistake. You can see here that it requires you to have matching names on the bank account with whatever you submitted in the previous 2 steps. So if the bank account you're trying to use is under your parent's name, a partner or friend's name, or some other business altogether, it's not going to work. Open a new account under your name or get your name added to the bank account that you want to use. Once you have that information, you'll need to have a recent bank statement and a credit or debit card, as you can see here. Now click continue. Okay, so the first thing you'll need to do is enter your bank account details here. So choose the country where your bank is, and if you're banking at one of the larger institutions, you should be able to find it on this list here. Otherwise, scroll down to the bottom and choose Other. Now, I bank at a local credit union, so it's not on this list, so I'm going to choose Other. And then type in the bank's name here. Now, under your bank's routing number and your account number. You can usually Google your bank's routing number, or if you have a check handy, it's the first set of numbers on the bottom of the check. Your account number is the second set of numbers. Then click on Verify. Okay, so since I don't bank at one of the major banks, I'm getting this message here letting me know that my bank doesn't do instant verifications, so I have to upload a bank statement to verify my bank account. You won't see this message if you bank at one of the larger institutions. Okay, click on Continue. All right, now here's where you need to provide a credit card or a debit card. And this is how Amazon is going to charge you each month for the professional selling plan, as well as if you owe them any money while you're using their selling services. Again, if you change your mind in the future, you can downgrade to the individual plan at any time that you want. In fact, you can upgrade and downgrade whenever you want. Now, here's where a lot of people make another mistake. Typically, you can't use a debit card unless it has a Visa or MasterCard logo on it. These are debit cards that can be accepted and charged as a credit card. If your debit card doesn't have a Visa or MasterCard logo on it, then contact your bank and ask them if your card can be used and charged as a credit card when you make your purchases. If not, you'll need to get a debit card from them that can. If you can't get a credit or a debit card from your bank, an excellent solution is to sign up on Wise.com and get yourself a virtual bank account and credit card that you can use on your Amazon seller account. Wise is actually one of Amazon's officially accepted payment partners. Basically, if you don't live in a country that Amazon allows for disbursements, you don't have access to a bank account that Amazon will accept, or you can't get a credit or debit card that Amazon accepts, you can sign up on Wise and you'll be able to open a bank account that you can use on Amazon to accept disbursements or payments from Amazon for the sales that you've made. And you can also get a debit card from Wise that you can use on Amazon here. And I'll leave a link in the description below that you can use to sign up with Wise, or just visit wise/CrescentKO. Okay, so enter your credit or debit card information here. And before you click the next button, smash the like button for the YouTube algorithm. It lets YouTube know that you found value in this video, and I would really appreciate it. So thank you. And my name is Crescent. If you're finding value in this video and want to learn more about selling on Amazon and connect with me, join my Amazon Facebook group. It's one of the largest with over 30,000 members. You can find a link down in the description below. And with that said, click on Next. Okay, we're almost done. On step 4, you need to enter your store details. This is a store name that you want to use on Amazon. In my opinion, it should match your business name, but it doesn't have to. If you didn't register a business, that's okay. Just choose a store name that you want to use. If you choose a name that's already in use, you'll get an error message, so just pick another one. And don't worry, you can change the store name later if you're not happy with it. Now, the first option here is asking you if you have UPC barcodes. You should be familiar with these barcodes. It's what a checker scans when you buy something at a store. So if you plan to sell wholesale or arbitrage products, Those products are already going to have a UPC barcode on them. If you plan to sell private label products, you're going to have to buy UPC barcodes for them. So essentially, regardless of how you plan to sell on Amazon, choose yes here. But don't worry, official GS1 barcodes only cost $30 each, and you only need one barcode for each private label product that you're selling. Do not buy barcodes from third-party sellers. I'll leave a link to how to buy barcodes and why you shouldn't buy from third-party sellers in the description below. And just a pro tip here, I actually highly suggest beginners start with private label products and do not do wholesale or arbitrage. The competition is way too high and the profit margins are way too small. I'll leave a link in the description below if you want to learn exactly why I recommend doing private label and how to get started selling on Amazon. Now, if you're enrolled in any diversity programs, you can select yes here. If you qualify, you can have your products featured and highlighted in the marketplace. Otherwise, choose no. And lastly, do you own a brand? If you plan to sell private label products, you want to choose yes here since you'll be selling products under your own brand. If you're not sure, then just choose some of them for now. Since I do private label, I'm going to choose yes. And now you can see it popped up another option here asking if I own a registered trademark. If you do, choose yes. Otherwise, choose no. And it's okay if you don't have a registered trademark. You can still sell on Amazon using your own brand and logo. You just won't be able to enroll in brand registry and get access to more advanced marketing features like A+ content. You need to have a registered trademark to enroll in brand registry. All right, and now we're on the final step, step 5. Here's where you verify the information that you entered on the previous steps. But pay close attention because there's still several places where you can make a mistake that will delay the entire verification process or get you blacklisted from selling on Amazon. Now, if everything looks right, you'll need to upload documents that it's asking for here. So in my case, I need to upload the front and back of my driver's license, as well as a copy of my bank statement or credit card statement. And remember, I said people make mistakes on every step that can get them denied or held up in the verification process. Well, here's where you can make a huge mistake that will get you stuck in limbo. When you upload these documents, you have to make 100% sure that you follow these guidelines I mentioned earlier. I can't stress this enough. If you do not follow these guidelines to a T, your new seller account application will get denied and you'll get canned responses that don't help you figure out why. Most of the time, it's because of this last step here. So let's go over these requirements. First, you can see here that Amazon will accept the following IDs: passport, passport card, national ID card, driver's license, enhanced driving license, citizenship card, permanent residency card, health card, or military identification card. The ID also needs to meet these following requirements. It must be a government-issued photo identity document, which is recognized and issued by the country where you are a citizen or resident. It must show your first and last name. This name must match the name entered under primary contact person information. Again, everything you entered needs to match the information that's on the ID 100%. It must include the date of birth. The date must be the exact match as we do not accept typos. And the ID holder must be 18 years or older. It must show the unique ID number, again with no mistakes. It must have an expiration date, if applicable. And again, the ID cannot be an expired one. And take note, it also says here, if your document does not have an expiry date, you can enter a dummy date of 3 months from the date of registration. It also must have the bearer's signature, if applicable. And it also says here, note, certain passports have signatures on one of the initial pages or one of the last pages. So make sure to include that page. You also must provide both sides of the ID if there's any vital information on the back side, like the signature, the date of expiration, date of birth, or barcodes. And also note, if this upload page does not ask for separate front and back image uploads, you need to make sure to merge the images into one file and then upload it. So in those cases, you can use a free online tool or Photoshop to merge the photos or scans into one single file. And last, and people miss this part all the time, the documents you submit must be in color. Okay, so that's for verifying your identity. To verify your address, you can see here that Amazon will accept bank statements, including your current account, savings account or loan account statement, credit card statements, or account statements provided by an e-commerce payment service provider such as Payoneer, Hyperwallet, WorldFirst, and Alipay. And it says here that the documents need to meet the following criteria. It must be issued within the last 180 days and show the issuing date, due date, or transaction dates. It also must have the financial institution's details to show at least one of the following details: the bank's name, bank stamp, bank signature, or bank logo. And it must have the name and address of the account holder. So again, if your name or business name isn't on the account, or the address is different than the one you submitted, then you can't use that account. So either have your name added to the account or the address updated to match so that they appear correctly on the statement, or open a new account under your name and address. Okay, and there's more. So many people get their application rejected simply because they didn't follow these additional guidelines. You can see here that it says, in order to ensure your documents are not rejected, make sure that they meet these following requirements. It must be valid, not expired, revoked, inactive, or closed. This is very important, okay? It must be high resolution and unobstructed. It must be complete and not cut off from any sides. It must be a scanned image or a photo of the original document taken from your mobile phone. Display the full document front and back if applicable. The file must be less than 50 megabytes in size, and the file must be in one of these following formats, and do not include any special characters in the file name. And it must be authentic and unaltered. It must not be password protected, and it must be in one of these supported languages. Okay, once you've uploaded the documents, click on Next. And now we need to choose from one of these following two options to complete the identity check. You can either upload a photo of yourself, which is the quickest method, or you can request a call from an Amazon agent and do a video call. As you can see here, this option can take much longer due to high volume, so I suggest taking a photo. Click Next. Click the checkbox to consent to having your photo taken and processed, and then click Start. Choose the country of the ID that you want to use. Now choose the type of ID you're using, and in my case, I'm going to use my driver's license. Then follow the on-screen instructions to take a photo of the front and back of your ID. Now you'll have to take a photo of your face, so follow the on-screen instructions. And once you've done that, you're done. Click Close and you'll see the final application summary page here. You can see here that it says they may reach out to you if they require more information within 2 business days. Now lastly, here's where a lot of people make another mistake. This verification process can take time. Like I said at the beginning of the video, my account got verified within 48 hours, but it can take much longer. Sometimes it can take a few days or even weeks, so you need to be patient here. Do not pester them with constant emails or questions. That's why it's important to start this process early so that you're not waiting around for your account to get approved in order to start selling. And also take note, if you scroll down, you can see that in my case, Amazon is also requiring an address verification. This is where they'll mail a card to your address that has a code on it. And once you receive this code, you'll need to enter it here to verify your address. Again, this process can take weeks, even though that you can see here that it says it will be delivered by May 11th. I've seen this card take several weeks to over a month to receive, so again, you need to be patient here. Now, once you've completed these last steps and your account is verified, some people still end up getting their account shut down. And this is typically because as soon as they get verified, they go into their account settings and start changing their bank account info or their credit card details. Don't do that. Changing those details is a red flag that you might be a scammer. If you do need to update that info for some reason, wait at least a month before you start changing it. And along those same lines, if you need to update your account type, such as change it from an individual to a registered business, or change your business details, you will trigger the verification process again, and you'll have to go through the whole verification process to get re-verified with the new business details. Now, once you have a verified account, you can start selling on Amazon. But that's just the beginning of your Amazon journey. The success of your Amazon business really boils down to the types of products that you choose to sell. So click over here to learn how I started my Amazon business and found profitable products to sell so you can start making money selling on Amazon.